A walk at midnight. The summer heat melts into a warm evening that draws young people out to find adventure after dark. While the others crawl through the bars along the town's waterfront, the Squaw brothers are called by a wanderlust to crisscross the pathways of their abandoned campus. They may have no particular destination in mind, but their strides are made with great purpose. It is here, in the open space of night, that all things seem possible. I like the stuff we're doing, Chris says. It's fun, and I don't know. I think it connects with people. I know that sounds pretentious and kind of silly when you think about it. I mean, it's not meant to be taken seriously. My younger self tries to catch his breath after scaling an incline that did nothing to his brother's respiratory system, but I think that's why it works. Sure, we can play and sing, and we're giving them, at least I think, professional quality. I don't think we're giving ourselves too much credit to say that we have some talent, you know? Chris laughs. You can say it. We've got talent. Don't be ashamed. Own it and stop making excuses for knowing that you're good at what you do. I mean, yeah, we've been doing it for so long. Since we were little, I guess it's not bad to admit that I'm, a good musician, and we put in the practice. Right. You're right. Nicholas and I follow these two young men as they allow themselves to build their confidence, and he gives me a half smirk as if to say, "Get a load of these two." It kind of irks me, but he's responding to the obvious naivete of youth. They're awkward in their total unabashed self-awareness, and the whole conversation seems so heady and unnecessary. It's as though at some point in adulthood, talking about your ambitions and dreams in such a naked way goes out of season. Chris comes to a stop in a quiet garden. I really do want to start doing some songs that are serious. He doesn't look at his brother when he says this. Instead, he tilts back and stares up at the stars overhead. I have things that I want to get out that don't exactly fit the kind of stuff our band does. Paul nods slowly, also not looking at his brother. He walks to a nearby bench and lies down to face the same sky. I can see that. Digesting these words, Chris steps up onto the ledge of the garden and begins a balancing act. Not that I don't want to keep making music with you and Jen, because I do. Good, Paul says, a dose of unease in his voice. There's no reason you can't have a side project, as long as this remains your main priority. Yeah, Chris says, hopping down from his perch. He stands gracelessly for a moment, as though uncertain of what to do with his hands. And then he sits on the edge of the bench near his brother's feet. I wouldn't want to break up the band or anything. It's as though I hear those words for the first time. Clearly, they mean something different to me now than they did when I was lying on that bench. I turn to Nicholas, my expression suspended between surprise and self-reproach, and I try to get my question out. Do you... Did I? Nicholas's gaze comes with a hard edge. What's on your mind? I watch as the two brothers gather themselves up and stroll off into the darkness. The older says, I think if I ever become well known for writing good lyrics, I'll do a whole album that's just instrumentals. The younger looks to his brother with an expression stripped of all charade. You're going to be a great musician someday. Thrash is so taken aback by this honest prediction that he has no words that would fit the moment. So instead of thanking Chris for his kind vote of confidence, he deflects it with a joke. What do you mean someday? Nicholas asks me again what I'm thinking, and I try to answer. My words die in the stranglehold of my tightening throat. We leap forward on my timeline to one of my first apartments in San Diego. I'm unexpectedly looking at my nude 22-year-old form as he lathers shampoo into his hair. The door to the bathroom suddenly bursts open, and it's obvious he wasn't expecting anyone to come in. He's so startled he almost slips and breaks his hip as he peeks around the shower curtain, where he finds Chris grinning in the doorway. My younger self rubs soap out of his eyes. What are you doing here? Chris shrugs. Got a new car. Thought I'd take it for a ride. All the way to California?
I wanted to see my brother. Chris holds up his guitar. Thought we could get in a jam session before you shipped out. And then Nicholas and I are snapped back to the solitude of empty benches on the Kent State campus. I'm filled with a great melancholy that I can't articulate. It's winter, and I'm looking back at the promise of spring. I'm surrounded by ice and death. There's not a damn thing I can do about it.
Try to tell me what you're feeling,
Nicholas says.
Maybe it'll help.
I open my mouth and squeak out a few words. He believed in me, and Lord knows I believed in him. I do my best to steady my voice. I never meant to let him down.